New research, including a new study published by the New England Journal of Medicine, found that dancing regularly, aka more than once a week, was associated with a massive 76% reduction in the risk of dementia. Let's go ahead and bring in Inspira Dance founder Stephanie Metzger. Steph, it's great to have you on live now from Fox. Welcome in.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about the benefits of dance.
Absolutely. So, as somebody who founded a dance organization, you're quite prolific in a number of key dances out there. What have you seen the impacts on somebody's mental health that dance can have?
Yeah, we're an organization that started right after the pandemic. So when anxiety rates, depression, all of those things were extremely high because we were so socially limited. Dance has an incredible way to bring people together, creates community. The benefits are endless. And like you mentioned, even like dementia stats, it's so helpful in a number of cognitive ways for us too. I can't say enough about dance. Even if you think you have two left feet, oh, my cat decided to join. Even if you think you have two left feet, dance is incredible in a number of ways.
And I've taken a lot of your lessons before back when I used to live in Washington, D.C. With Inspira Dance, obviously, you're in D.C., you're in the nation's capital. It's a place where loneliness rates are significantly higher than the average city in the United States. And you also see people who have a lot of high profile jobs. So there is a demand for activities that get people away from work and kind of just get them away from the politics of life.
Yeah, we really find that dancing, especially partner dancing, we love partner dancing. We do salsa, country dancing, all types of partner dances. It's a really great way to make a third space where you're not just meeting somebody, on the hill or at your job. You're going to meet them in a space where you're both kind of equal. You both are trying to learn how to do a salsa step or a bachata step, and you rotate around. You meet a bunch of different partners. You meet a bunch of new friends. It's a really great way to build community.
Now, your organization is very unique because what you do is quite a very important mission, which is that you provide and you use these dance classes, but you use them to raise money for public schools and providing dance programs to those public schools. Can you explain Inspira and how it got started?
Yeah, I used to be a public school teacher for about 8 years, and I used to work in DC public schools, and then I went to Alexandria City Public Schools, and I was kind of known as the free dance teacher. I would always stay after school to teach salsa and bachata to my kids. And so when we started Inspira, I really wanted it to be more than just a dance org. I wanted to kind of, it sounds cheesy, but inspire the next generation. So we use all the funds from our adult dance classes, and we use those to fund free programs in Title I public schools. So that means essentially students who might not have access to dance, because dance can be a bit of an expensive hobby, especially as a student or a child. We make sure that that's free and that there's no cost barrier associated with that for students, because a lot of our students are sitting for a really, really long period of time during the school day. And the research shows that even just movement during the school day, especially when we hit middle and high school, is so important for their academic success, for their feelings of community, and for them just enjoying their experience in school, which is so important.
And how has it grown over the last couple of years? Because I understand you were in a very small venue to begin with, and things have changed quite extensively, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. We started in a coffee shop called Three Whistles in Arlington, and that was almost 4 years ago. And now we have our own venue in Ballston Quarter, which is in Arlington, right next to DC, Metro accessible. And now we have a 5,000 square foot dance hall that we can host all of our events. It's kind of wild. Yeah, but we are so grateful. We have a really great community, and I would welcome anybody out. Yeah, you don't need to have any dance experience, and we would just love to have you and welcome you in our new space.
So the concept is that you go, you pay a cover to go into this venue. Um, there's alcohol available to people who want to drink. You get a dance lesson out of it, and you get to make friends. You get to socialize pretty much everything. And all the money that you're spending here is going to helping children learn dance in public schools, correct?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
That's like the easiest sell of all time for a charity or a nonprofit. You know that, right?
I hope so. I think honestly, a lot of people who come to our events don't even know we're a nonprofit, and I kind of love that. I love that some people could come find enjoyment and not even know that the benefit this has for others too. So yeah, I hope it's an easy sell.
And what's interesting too is, this is country swing lessons in Washington, D.C. People don't think about country swing when they think about Washington, D.C.,
No.
and they might not think about salsa either when they think
Yeah.
about Washington, D.C. So the cowboy culture is very much alive in the nation's capital.
Yeah, I mean, I really have to shout out Maggie and Darren. They're 2 friends of mine who I originally was only doing salsa and bachata, and they came to me and they're like, "No, let's do country." And I had the exact same thought. I was like, "Country dancing in DC?" And now we have I mean, on our grand opening, we had 500 people, cowboy hats, cowboy boots coming to dance. I mean, yeah, country has a home in DC. That's definitely true. Yeah.
And what's most rewarding about this for you? You mentioned earlier you were a public school teacher. You would stay late after school to be able to teach your students, and I'm sure it was a small group back then. But now you've gotten to take what you were doing at that time and expand it to a wider net of people. What's the rewarding feeling you get being able to provide something that you love and see students fall in love with the way you did?
I feel so blessed that I get to do something I'm so passionate about and I love. And it's so cool to see. I love teaching dance, but now the dance programs we have for these kids are a million years better than I could have ever taught. We have an incredible instructor from Nelson, and he's worked with some of the greatest. He's worked with Chris Brown. He was on Kids Bop when he was a kid. He worked with Justin Bieber, J Balvin, and now he's working with our students in public schools. I mean, it's just the programs we have now, and they're during the day too. The students can pick it as a dance elective. They're so much more fleshed out. They're so much more holistic. Uh, it's crazy to see the growth, and it's something I would have never been able to do on my own. Similar with our teaching team for adults, I have so many people on staff who are light years better than I ever was as a dance instructor. So I feel really blessed to be able to be surrounded by so many talented people who all just want to like help our community, whether it's helping people connect, whether it's the mental health benefits, or just helping our students in public schools. So yeah, I feel really blessed.
And how have you seen it impact the students? What kind of changes in their personality do you see? Work ethic, how mental health, how does it impact them?
It's actually amazing. I can't say enough about it, and I have a lot of individual stories. But even just recently, they had their end of year kind of performance in Alexandria with the choral society, and some of these students started so shy. I mean, like, could not get them to even do a step in front of a mirror. They'd be on the back wall just like this, like super, super shy. And now they're out there, they're like performing with the crowd. They're like walking around the room, watching their families embrace them and celebrate them too when they do these performances. It doesn't just affect the student, it gives the families another way to celebrate their child, which I think is really, really special. I've had students that have come into our class that were getting really heavily bullied, and their bully was actually in the class. And by the end of the school year, not that this is every situation, but at least in our situation, they ended up best friends, and the bully was actually protecting the student from other bullying. It sounds almost like cinematic type movie, but it really did happen, and it was really sweet. And we have a lot of situations where we have students who maybe aren't so connected with friendships. And once this dance class kind of becomes like their little friend group and community, which is really special. And we love that. Yeah.
And you mentioned individual stories. Is there one, and you just mentioned a couple right there, but is there one that really stands out to you?
Yeah, I have one student who's always going to be special to my heart because it was right when we started. In he was so excited about learning bachata. He was from Peru. He recently arrived to this country and was like learning English. And we were using dance to help him learn English, get connected to his school, and he was also looking for work. And on our board, Salsa with Sylvia helps contribute to our organization. And she hired him at her dance studio to teach dance and to work the front desk. And he's still there, like 4 years later. And every time I see him, his English is amazing. He's a young man now. He's like 20, 21. Uh, and it's crazy to see the difference, the night and day difference from when we started with Diego. He encountered dance with us. Now he works for a dance studio in like an admin and teaching capacity. And his language, yeah, it's incredible. It's really great to see. Yeah.
Well, Steph, congratulations on all the success. Any final word you want to add before we let you go?
I just wanted to thank you so much for having us on, and hope to see you dancing soon.
Absolutely. Steph Metzger with Inspira Dance. Thank you so much, Steph, for your time here on Live Now from Fox. Congratulations on all the success. And you can find Inspira Dance on their Instagram page and Facebook and all the other ways you check out social media.